Shalom, and welcome back to Bnei Noach Academy, Thoughts on the Torah and Life. Please remember to hit the like button, to subscribe, and most importantly, to share this insight and inspiration with friends and family. So we're in the series of prayer for non-Jews. And here is another aspect of prayer, or I should say, preparation for prayer. You see, there's a verse in the prophet, the book Amos, chapter 4, verse 13. And he says there, Hikon likrat Elokecha. You should prepare towards your God. Meaning, when one is about to approach, one is about to come before God, one has to, quote, set oneself right. One has to prepare oneself to approach or for this special encounter. What does that mean? It doesn't mean you have to put on a tuxedo every time you go to pray. It certainly doesn't mean that you have to, put on your, a gown if you're a woman. But it does mean that you have to be dressed appropriately, that you have to be dressed accordingly. You don't just happen to start praying. Yes, there are moments when you call out to God, but I'm talking about prayer in the sense of having that encounter, that intimate encounter with God. This is something you need to prepare for, and somewhat dress up for. Now, of course, the question can be asked, God can see me with or without my clothing. In fact, no matter how many layers of clothing I am going to put on, God can still see right through them, obviously. Before him, I'm naked even when I'm dressed. So what is the point of getting dressed? What is the point of, quote, getting dressed appropriately for the occasion? The answer is not so much that God needs it. It's more that we need it. You see, when you're going to do something, when you're going to position yourself for a special event, for a special moment, for a special occasion, typically you set yourself in that mode. As the saying goes, dress for success. Yes, the way you dress says a lot about what your expectations are going to be from that event, from that moment. If you dress in a certain manner, that means you expect to be amongst important people or fashionable people. You dress in a manner that, says you're going to the beach. That obviously is saying that you're not going to an office meeting. Correct? Everybody understands that. So the way you set yourself up is going to contribute so much, tremendously, to your experience and to your engagement with the Almighty in your prayer. And yes, it's going to say a lot to him. You see, sometimes in the moment, we don't express ourselves properly, or we don't express ourselves fully, certainly not as we intended. We maybe intended to get into that prayer, to get into them, to get into it, and to really, really connect, and to really ask for this, and to really demand for that. And it then just doesn't happen. But you see, when we come with our proper attire, that means we made, quote, the proper preparations. God sees that. God takes that into account. That also speaks for what we were going to say. That says what we're going to say to a great extent. So yes, make it a point. Again, it doesn't have to be, like I said in the beginning, a tuxedo or any specific type of wardrobe, but make it a point to be something that you would feel comfortable if you were going out to meet a dignitary, albeit not formally. Would you, go out in your beach wear? Would you go out in the, clothing that you wear to fix your garden? Obviously not. Well, make it a point that when it comes to prayer, your clothing is straightened out, is clean, is tidy, and that you look like what we call appropriate for the occasion for the encounter.